Well, good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Hope everyone's having a lovely day and that you had a great weekend. I know that I sure did, hanging out with Thomas of True Reporting in sunny South Carolina. It's a beautiful place down there. I had no idea. I haven't been there since I was a very small child, but we had a great time. We had a couple of great shows despite some technical difficulties on the first night, and now we are about to catch up on the news for the week. It seems that there are some major inconsistencies taking place right now at the Democratic Iowa Caucus. Several different candidates are claiming victory, and we actually have video footage of the fairness of this process. We're going to take a look at that. We are also going to hear, unfortunately, about Rush Limbaugh. He has announced that he has advanced lung cancer and is undergoing treatment. So we're going to talk about that. And then we've also got news about a GOP investigation of the White House meetings from the former administration, the last outgoing administration. So please, everybody, do sit back, relax, grab your popcorn. We're going to go through all this and more, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you how you can stop paying for overpriced insurance, because I bet a lot of you are tired of paying too much for auto, health, and life insurance. Well, you can cut your insurance rates substantially and save big with PatriotRates.com. They're an American insurance company you can trust, and they're owned by veterans. Patriot Rates sources competitive pricing on auto, health, and life insurance, and they'll always have your back when it comes to finding the best quote to fit your needs. I myself was able to get auto and health insurance cheaper by using their service, so go ahead and give them a try. There's no commitment, it's free information, you have nothing to lose. Just visit PatriotRates.com for a free quote on auto, health, and life insurance, and stop paying for overpriced insurance today. Once again, visit www.PatriotRates.com for your free quote. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. First of all, today, I wanted to go over this handy-dandy tool from Johns Hopkins University. There's a lot of people who are very, very concerned about the Kung flu. So in order to give you a better understanding of where it is, how many cases there are, the exact number of people who have expired as a result of contracting it, I thought that it would be a nice gesture for me to put this in the pinned comment with the show notes below this video. So you can see total worldwide confirmed cases right now. We have 20,704. We have 427 expirations. Now, over here on the left-hand side, you can drill down by country. And you can see that in the United States, it's showing 11 confirmed cases. So, cases that are confirmed. And now, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I did get a report from a viewer that there has been a new case confirmed here in the United States. Now, that hasn't been confirmed by the CDC yet, so I didn't want to cause panic and give people the idea that I have 100% confirmation that this is the case. But I did want to bring up this map and give you guys the option to go ahead and check it out yourselves so you can keep an eye on it and see if there are any cases in your area. Until that case is confirmed, I don't feel comfortable reporting it to the public because the last thing I want to do is cause a panic. So please go ahead and keep an eye on this map right here. And if you live in an area where there is a case close by, then this might be good for you to go ahead and make sure that you're safe. But in the meantime, continue to disinfect, continue to protect yourself. I saw a lot of people wearing those surgical masks while I was traveling over the weekend. I think that's probably a good idea. And in the meantime, I know that I am not going to be taking any unnecessary trips outside until everything gets wrapped up as far as this is concerned. Now, the GOP is making a move, and they are beginning an investigation by pouring through thousands of documents from the last presidential administration, which are stored at the National Archives. Now, John Kerry may have just helped them a little bit in their investigation, and Methods has the clip right here because he just threw everyone under the bus in terms of Ukraine.
I will tell you, because as Secretary of State, I was deeply involved in this. All of us in the administration were trying to get rid of that prosecutor. From Obama to the Secretary of State to the Vice President, all of us were working on that. The ambassador, and We knew if Ukraine was going to survive and win the revolution in the end, the Maidan, they had to get rid of that prosecutor, and they did.
Well, looks like John Kerry just solved it. It wasn't just Joe. It wasn't just Hillary. It wasn't just John Kerry. It was all of them. And I think this is something we've known for a long time. Let's take a look at the reporting. So the investigation is looking through thousands of administration documents in regards to Ukraine White House meetings. The National Archives is in the process of reviewing these documents related to meetings held between senior Obama administration and Ukrainian officials at the White House in 2016. This trove of documents was discovered after a request for documents was submitted by two top GOP senators in November of last year. Now, the documents requested by Senators Ron Johnson of Wisconsin and Chuck Grassley of Iowa are significant as they directly concern meetings that senior administration officials had with Ukrainian officials at the White House in 2016. These documents are expected to be reviewed for classification purposes as well as executive privilege by lawyers for both President Barry and President Donald Trump, as reported to SarahCarter.com. Johnson is the chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security, and Grassley is the chairman of the Committee on Finance. They sent a 3-page detailed request by letter in November to David S. Ferrero, the head of the National Archives. The request was for records of multiple White House meetings that took place in 2016 between and among these former administration officials, Ukrainian government representatives, and Democratic National Committee officials. Senator Johnson, who spoke to this reporter, said, "We will continue our oversight. We are going to get to the bottom of what has been happening here, and hopefully we will get access to the information to make it available to the American public so they really do understand what's been happening." Now, a source familiar with the ongoing Senate investigation told Sarah Carter that the request for documents is still in NARA's notification process. The National Archives did not immediately respond for comment, and this story will be updated when and if NARA officials respond to the request. Now, the National Archives did, however, recently notify the senators' offices that they expected response to our document request will likely be in the order of several thousand responsive pages. They cannot give us a specific date for when it will be completed, and the notification process will involve notifying both the current and former Trump and Barry administrations, a review that is likely to take some time. Normally, that would involve a 30-day waiting period, but that's now turned into a rolling waiting period for the requested documents. Now, the records show that Alexandra Chalupa, a Ukrainian-American operative who was consulting for the DNC during the 2016 election, attended numerous meetings at the White House, including one event that included President Barry. Chalupa allegedly was the one who worked to get the dirt on Trump from the Ukrainians. Now, another important facet of the request made by Johnson and Grassley was recently obtained by Fox News host Laura Ingraham, and she reported that new information that coincides with a central charter in the White House meetings, and that would be the alleged leaker. You know who I'm talking about, EC. So now this will definitely bear some wicked fruit for the 2016 election interference investigation that remains ongoing. And something tells me that the former administration and the people involved in these meetings with Ukraine are not going to be happy with what Grassley and Johnson find. All right, so the Iowa caucuses have been taking place over the last 24 hours. Seems like maybe they're still taking place, even though they really should have their numbers lined up by now. But Iowa is an extremely important state. We know that quite often the country will go the same direction as Iowa. So the Democrats are trying to choose their delegates there, and they have a very sophisticated process for making sure that the delegates are chosen for the correct candidate. Let's take a look at this video footage that Method's got. And we can actually see it happening live.
When you're watching, and then flip it over. Flip it over. Heads. Buttigieg. Heads. Buttigieg.
All right, so Buttigieg will get 3 delegates.
Okay. So flip the coin and then flip it over and then see what it is. This kid clearly tries to make sure that it lands on heads so that Buttigieg gets the votes. This is 2016 all over again. Just take a look at this. We're going to zoom in and we can see the thought process on this guy's face as he tries to make sure that the candidate that he wants is chosen.
When you're watching.
Oh, look, let's make sure. Okay, we're going to flip it once. And there we go. Flip it again. Heads. It's heads. And everyone's kind of like, okay, are we going to accept this? Really? This is what the Democratic Party is about? They want to control the country, yet they can't control their own caucus. Let's go look at some reporting. So the whole reason they were doing this coin toss is because in Iowa, coin tosses are used to determine a winner if a precinct has tied results. So that coin toss that we just saw is what determined who got the last delegate out of one of Iowa's precincts after Buttigieg and Klobuchar were tied. And of course, Democrat Pete Buttigieg won the random coin toss in Iowa on Monday night. Is this how Hillary won 6 for 6 coin toss victories in Iowa in 2016? It sure sounds like a familiar story. Now, the young man in charge of that coin toss had no idea what he was doing, and no one stepped in to redo that coin toss. Turns out the coin flipper is a student from Florida who traveled to Iowa with his dad to watch the Iowa caucuses. He was chosen to flip the coin because he was an impartial observer. The student told Zurcher he was nervous and caught the coin between his fingers. Now, the Democrat caucus was a total train wreck from the start. Now, on Monday, it was reported that the secretive Hillary Clinton-linked Iowa Democratic Party app Shadow stopped working hours before the caucuses began. It's now Tuesday afternoon, and the Democrats still have no caucus results. The Iowa Democrat Party chairman blamed the delay on a coding error, or maybe the people they wanted to win just weren't the ones who were getting the votes, and they need time to stack it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some footage last night from Fox News when they reported on the issues the Democrats were having. What a disaster. Precinct heads have been told to take pictures of their caucus results, text it to a manager who will then drive it to HQ for validation and verification. Does anybody else see any problems with this? This is a very, very strange chain of custody directive, and you can't make it up because it's the Dems. The Democratic caucus results were delayed tonight in Iowa. At 10 p.m., there were still no results. Ian Higgins from Common Dreams reported that the secretive Iowa Democrat Party app stopped working hours before the caucuses. Now, the app is the way that they were supposed to calculate all of the votes. They would take it in on the app, it would go directly electronically, and then they would be able to tally the votes. Well, Ian said, Iowa Democratic Party uses secretive app for caucus reporting. The app stops working a few hours before the caucus begins. Results trickle in, but show dominating performance for Sanders, death knell for Biden camp, and now the counting has been shut down by the DNC for quality control. Now, it begs the question, just what is this shadow app? Well, apparently, it's an app that was created by the tech firm run by Hillary's 2016 campaign officials that is directly linked to the Iowa caucus train wreck. Now, on Monday night, with the Democratic Party app Shadow stopping working, it was very difficult for the Democratic Party there to tally the votes. And with it being Tuesday and not having any results in so far, it's a really bad look for the Dems. They're still saying it's a coding error. But it gets much, much worse. Now, the results from Monday's caucus could not be transmitted to Iowa Party headquarters, it was reported, and State Democratic Party Chairman Troy Price blamed the problem on a coding error. While our plan is to release results as soon as possible today, our ultimate goal is to ensure that the integrity and accuracy of the process continues to be upheld. Now, confusion among caucus organizers over how to use the app also seemed to contribute to the problem. Now, the firm behind the app reportedly is Shadow. It's an affiliate of Acronym, which is a Democratic nonprofit founded in 2017 to educate, inspire, register, and mobilize voters, according to its website. Shadow started out as Groundbase, a tech developer co-founded by Gerard Namira and Krista Davis, who both worked for the tech firm on Clinton's campaign for the 2016 Democratic nomination. Now, Vladimir Putin and Russian bots haven't been blamed yet for the train wreck, but Democratic candidate Andrew Yang blamed President Trump for the delay. However, no explanation by Andrew Yang as to how President Trump would have anything to do with the Iowa Democrats has been given at this time, and I don't think we're going to hear anything about that anytime soon. But something tells me the Russians are not far behind.
And Story County, Precinct 1-1. The guy says, I've been on hold for over an hour to report the results. We have 6 delegates. I've been on hold on the phone with the to call in the results for more than an hour. On hold.
Here's
Now, this
another
is
one.
the app crashes. They say you got to call in the results. This guy is a precinct, head of the precinct, and he's just trying to call in the results. He's been on hold for an hour.
How about this one from Polk County? Precinct chairs are being advised to take pictures of the results and then text them over to the Polk County Executive Director, who is then driving them to the headquarters, according to a Democratic operative familiar with the situation. Now, I mean, some of these may turn out to be.
Now, I take this back. You remember we were at the state capitol?
Yeah.
There's two.
Juan Williams is not amused. Oh my goodness. What a disaster. 6 votes. They were on hold for an hour to tally up 6 votes. This is an unmitigated disaster. You cannot look at it any other way. Well, after that outstanding coin flip, Mayor Pete is claiming victory after the Iowa caucus. The only problem is that several other candidates are doing the same. Now, there's no actual official results coming out of Iowa, but it's looking like Mayor Pete is claiming victory in the caucuses, and he took to Twitter to announce a victory. Sort of. And Mayor Pete had this to say on Twitter: Iowa, you have shocked the nation. By all indications, we are going on to New Hampshire victorious. Hashtag Iowa caucus. Tonight, an improbable hope became an undeniable reality. Hashtag Iowa caucuses. And finally, the skeptics said, not now, not this time. All this talk of belonging, of bridging divides is too naive, too risky. So tonight I say with a heart filled with gratitude, Iowa, you've proved those skeptics wrong. Hashtag Iowa caucuses. Pete Buttigieg, the bridger of divides. Now, but then again, what does he consider a victory? 10%? 15%? Considering no official results have been reported, some are skeptical of his claims. Let's look at that. Marianne Williamson says, did Pete Buttigieg just claim victory in Iowa when the results haven't even been announced yet? And Steve Kornacki says, the official results as Pete Buttigieg declares himself victorious in Iowa. And with 0% reporting, we've got 0% for Biden, Sanders, Warren, and Buttigieg. Amy Klobuchar doesn't even make the Chiron. Claire Malone says, so just to clarify where we're at 12:25 a.m., Biden surrogates are saying maybe we can't trust any of the results, and Buttigieg has just declared himself the winner. 2020 has begun. And Matt Duca says, 0 official results have been reported as of now. Buttigieg, hashtag Iowa caucuses. I see this as an absolute win. And Josh Hughes says, no results whatsoever. Pete Buttigieg, hashtag Iowa caucuses. So I guess you could say I won. Pete Buttigieg calling victory and nothing has been reported. But what about now that this story's been out for a little bit? Do we have any more information? Well, the answer's no. We don't have any more information other than to say that a majority of the country concurs with the thoughts of myself in this program. This is a train wreck. They can't even run a caucus and they want to run the government. I love that headline. And you can see here from the New York Post, the question is, who wants to lose the election? And we've got Bernie, we've got Biden, we've got Buttigieg, and all the rest. Now, the results of last night's Democrat caucus are still unknown, and it is going on 4 p.m. After 4 years of building a case that they know what's best for America, the Democrats finally had their chance to show their stuff, and instead they laid an egg. President Trump, of course, weighed in. And he says that the Democrat caucus is an unmitigated disaster. Nothing works, just like they ran the country. Remember the $5 billion Obamacare website that should have cost 2% of that? The only person that can claim a very big victory in Iowa last night is Trump. Ooh, what a burn. Now, the president's campaign manager, Brad Parscale, tweeted about the Democrat Party meltdown. Brad says, Democrat Party meltdown, they can't even run a caucus and they want to run the government. No, thank you. The majority of America agrees with you, Brad. Now, others point out how suspicious it is that the Des Moines Register poll wasn't released at the same time the Democrat caucus results are delayed. Rising Serpent says, what are the odds that they canceled the Des Moines Register poll and now they're delaying the Iowa caucus results on account of quality control checks? Very strange coincidence. Now, at first, they did not want to identify the name of the company that created that app. And of course, we know now that it is Shadow. Now, even Ilhan Omar is weighing in. Walker Bragman says, not great optics here, folks. Number one, Dems paid company literally called Shadow to create Caucus app. Number two, Pete Buttigieg campaign also paid Shadow, FEC records show. The Caucus app fails. Buttigieg declares himself the Iowa winner with no results. Omar says this can't be it. This is not a good look for the Democrats, and everybody has it right. They are not the ones that need to be running this country at this point in time. They need to clean up their own house before they even want to attempt to get back into the seat of power here in America. Now, apparently, the fact that it was Shadow that was the group that was behind this this application that crashed, this was reported by the Huffington Post, and it was reported by unnamed sources. Now, the Iowa Democratic Caucus has not commented on this, and they actually said that the app itself didn't go down, but caucus leaders said that they couldn't actually even log into the app. But the spokesperson for the Iowa Democratic Party said, we found inconsistencies in the reporting of 3 sets of results. In addition to the text systems being used to tabulate results, we are also using photos of results and a paper trail to validate that all results match and ensure that we have confidence and accuracy in the numbers we report. This is simply a reporting issue. The app did not go down, and this is not a hack or an intrusion. The underlying data and paper trail is sound and will simply take time to further report the results. Right. Well, the Iowa starting line did report that many caucus chairs could not even log into the app. One caucus chair has been trying to set the app up for 2 days and never got it to work. Other precinct chairs said they could send the numbers through the app, but the app was very slow. A backup phone line was also slow to work, and some people were on hold for a very long time, as reported by Brett Baer. And all of this has added up to a number of delays. Now, with HuffPo reporting that Shadow is the group behind the app, they are stating that Shadow was paid over $60,000 for website development in late 2019. And in those payments for website development were the payments for the app that was going to be used to upload and tabulate the results. Now, Acronym is the company that is connected to Shadow, and they said they only invested in Shadow and they don't know what happened with the caucus. They did put a statement out on Twitter saying basically they're a technology company, and therefore they haven't provided any such technology to the Iowa Democratic Party, presidential campaigns, or any other Democratic national committees. Now, MSNBC was also playing defense last night for Acronym and Shadow and trying to muddy the waters. They basically repeated the statements that were given earlier by people involved with these companies. And Shadow's team, as we reported earlier in the broadcast, provided and implemented technology for both Hillary and Obama for America, which was seen right there on the website. Now, Shadow's team has a long history. They've done a lot of work for a lot of different people, including Gaggle, Apple, and other places like the AFL-CIO. And perhaps the most troubling aspect of this whole thing is that FEC filings show that investors in Shadow include both the campaigns for Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden. And Pete for America's payments appeared to be in July for software rights, and subscriptions for Biden for President's payment was for text messaging. So maybe they were doing other work for these campaigns, but it is weird that they are involved, and now Buttigieg is claiming victory in Iowa, and Joe Biden is telling us not to trust these results at all. And Joe Biden's camp has said that they have real concerns about the Iowa caucus process, because from the beginning, Bernie Sanders was the frontrunner going into Monday's caucuses. He said he had a good feeling we're going to be doing very, very, very well here in Iowa once the results were posted. Today marks the beginning of the end for Donald Trump, he said. Now, Joe Biden's deputy campaign manager, Kate Bedingfield, said the team has real concerns. You see in the letter, we have real concerns about the integrity of the process. I think there were significant failures in the process last night that should give voters concern. You obviously had the app failure. The app that precinct captains were using to report and their results failed. You had the phone system where the precinct captains, there were reports of them getting frustrated, being left on hold. Then you have the presidential preference cards, which are essentially the paper trail for the app, which we already know have failed. So absolutely every single point along the way has given some level of failure. Now Joe Biden's campaign counsel, Dana Remus, also also had something to say about it. We appreciate that you plan to brief the campaigns momentarily on these issues, and we plan to participate. However, we believe that the campaigns deserve full explanations and relevant information regarding the methods of quality control you are employing, and an opportunity to respond before any official results are released, she said. We look forward to hearing from you promptly. In the meantime, we are on to New Hampshire on the road to the most important election of our lifetimes, and in some cases, probably the last election of these people's lifetimes. I don't see Joe Biden and I don't see Bernie Sanders going on for much longer after this if they're unable to get the nomination. Something tells me this is 2016 all over again, with Bernie Sanders clearly looking to be the front runner, moving into Iowa with all that momentum, and at the last moment, they sweep the rug out from underneath him. I think that this is where the people working in Bernie's campaigns, the people that follow him, the people that support him, this is the point at which they are going to say they have had enough, because yet again, we are witnessing a live action stealing of this election in Iowa. But clearly, Iowa has incredibly large problems. As I said, it's now midday. There is absolutely no information coming out, and it seems like nobody can agree on a single thing. And when you have people like that kid from Florida flipping the coin, I think I'd have some questions too. All right, guys. Now, next, this is a story that weighs heavy on my heart. Rush Limbaugh has announced that he does, in fact, have advanced lung cancer. This came out yesterday, and President Trump has called him a great guy and a national treasure. Both President Trump and Vice President Pence have issued statements in support of Rush after he made this announcement. Couple of different reasons why this is important to me. I think that Rush is an icon in American media. And then also, my own father passed away from non-small cell carcinoma, which is a type of lung cancer. I don't know if this is the same type that Rush has, but it didn't take very long for my father to pass. He started getting sick in May. He was diagnosed fully on August 5th, and he was gone by October 6th. So just exactly 2 months from the day that he got the official diagnosis. Now, President Trump and Vice President Pence, they both issued statements on Twitter on Monday in response to the announcement by Rush Limbaugh that he has been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. Rush is 69, and he told his audience about his condition at the close of Monday's nationally syndicated radio show. President Trump said, "Many people do not know what a great guy and fantastic political talent this great Rush Limbaugh is. There is nobody like him. Looking for a speedy recovery for our friend." Now, there's the tweet from the president right there. And Vice President Pence said, "Rush Limbaugh is a national treasure who has made a difference on the airwaves of America for 30 years. Rush, Karen, and I will be joining millions across this country in praying for your swift recovery. God bless you." Now, and C-SPAN video from 2001, then Representative Mike Pence was talking about Rush on the floor of the House. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
Tells us that if you owe debts, pay debts. If honor, then honor. If respect, then respect. And with a little girl at home tonight sick, I am unable to join a special order this evening that the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Kingston, will be holding on behalf of an American who has greatly impacted my professional life and to the frustration of many has greatly impacted the life of the nation. And that would be Rush Hudson Limbaugh III, a man born in Cape Girardeau, Missouri on January 12, 1951. He will be extolled on this floor tonight by many of my colleagues as we come together during a time of great difficulty for the Limbaugh family to remember his contribution to the country. And so I rise briefly tonight. There are many of my colleagues, particularly those that were elected, Mr. Speaker, in 1994, who will look to this pioneer in talk radio and will credit him in part for their election to the Congress of the United States, and that would be true. And in many ways, the Republican majority owes much of its continued success to a talk radio that Rush Limbaugh reinvented in the mid-1980s as a format for a conversation among millions of Americans on a daily basis.
Now, I'm sure you guys will remember that Rush gave a speech introducing President Trump in 2018 at the Cape Girardeau rally.
Thank you all very, very much. What an honor! What an honor! This is so exciting. I have been watching Trump rallies from the very first one. And to be part of one, folks, I'll tell you, it's the night of a lifetime. You know, I was just backstage. You all are so great. This thing it's electric in here, folks. You people at home. This is unreal.
Now, I'm sure that speech at the rally was not the first time that Rush and President Trump have met. I think they've been close for a very long time. They've been pictured together playing golf. They've been pictured together having lunch. And the Trump campaign also posted a specific message in support of Rush on Monday night. They said, "From everyone at Team Trump, we wish Rush Limbaugh a speedy recovery. He's a true innovator, a strong conservative leader, and a great American, and he is most definitely a fighter. Please keep him and his family in your prayers. Hashtag pray for Rush." Now, of course, I'm going to ask everybody watching this broadcast to please pray for Rush as well. He has left an indelible mark here on American politics and conversation about conservatism and the political discourse here in this country. Without Rush Limbaugh, I think many of us would not be where we are today. And we owe him so much more than we can ever actually give him thanks for. Now, what Mike Pence said up there, the fact that many Republican lawmakers owed their elections, at least in some part, to the help of Rush Limbaugh, very, very true. Rush has the ear of millions of Americans. And every day, so many people that I know listen to my program also listen to Rush Limbaugh. And the thing that I love about Rush is that he is human. You know, in his announcement about the fact that he has cancer, you know, he was humble in that moment. He said he didn't want to make it about himself. That is not the kind of announcement that you want to make to your viewers, that you want to tell people. You don't want to tell your family. You don't want to tell your friends. You don't want to tell the people that listen to you on a daily basis that something might happen to you, that you might not be around. You know, it makes me think about my dad so much. I can't help but think about my dad because my dad was a very, very strong man. And to watch him succumb to this disease was probably the most painful thing that's ever happened to me. So I really hope that because Rush is a man of means and he has connections to President Trump, that's perhaps he's going to have access to some, level of care that my father was unable to have. So I am asking everybody on this show that's watching this today, please do keep him in your prayers because this is a terrible situation for anybody to be in. And I really do wish him a speedy recovery. All right, guys, I'd like to know your predictions. Who do you think is going to be victorious in Iowa? Will they even have someone who is the clear winner? What do you think? Leave it in the comment section below, and we'll talk about it there. That's all I've got for you today. I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless. Hey guys, it's Red Pill. Just one more thing. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has taken the time to support this channel. If you'd like to see some ways that you can support the channel, you can always check the show notes in the pinned comment of this video below. Whether you like, whether you share, whether you make sure that your notifications are on, any way that you support this channel means so much to me. I could not be doing this without you, and I could not do it without your help. Without people like you, this channel would not exist, so thank you so much to everyone for all of their many means of support. Don't forget to check out the merchandise store that is also in the pinned comment, and I will see you guys next time.